Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's been a couple of days since the latest balance patch, plus there's no card reveals this weekend. So we're gonna go over the best decks to climb with, whether it be standard or legend, trying to get to that silver, gold, platinum, diamond, or legend for the very first time. As usual, I'm clickbaiting and actually have 10 standard decks to try out, some that are more on the buff-centric side with those recent buffs. They've been pretty unimpactful for the most part, I have to say. And a reminder, we have our giveaway going on on that video with that thumbnail there. We're giving away 3 mega bundles, 2 regular pre-orders out of my pocket. To enter that giveaway, like and comment on that video. It'll be linked in description below. Be subscribed to the channel. Every 1,000 subs we get until all the cards are revealed, I will add another mega bundle. So hit that sub button, make me go broke. And we're already 300 into the next 1,000. So you guys have been awesome. So thank you so much for that. So yeah, standard metagame. I'm not recommending Sludge Warlock, by the way, but if you want, if you still have those cards, you did disenchant them, still absolutely valid to play. It is still a pretty decent deck, but we're gonna go over what I feel are the best of the best, and at the bottom of this list will be the buff decks that have popped up that seem like maybe they're worth trying. But again, I don't recommend crafting any of the buffed cards because they're all rotating. Like, it's just not worth your dust, and they're like not impactful and wild. But if you have the cards, you can give it a try. Anyways, let's start off with the best of the best. Rainbow Death Knight seems to be the best deck, like across all ranks. Really good. You just can always basically win the board. Crop rotation is nuts with either Siculate Grimewalker, your Acolyte of Death to draw your deck. You can get giant stat bombs in there with Corpse Bride with your Stitch Giants. And of course, your win condition of Climactic Necrotic Explosion. Finally playable. Rainbow Death Knight is the real deal. It is done well in multiple patches and is one of the most popular decks out there and can be pretty fun to play. Plus, it's got Maw and Paw. How can you go wrong with some Maw and Paw? Plague Death Knight is another Death Knight deck, not doing as well, but certainly popular. And, you know, if you're running into a lot of Reno Warriors, well, just play Hell Yeah and Plagues and you just win, right? Deck's fine. Nothing really has changed with it. You want to shuffle Plagues in the deck. You have the Excavate package where you can bring back your most expensive cost minion, which is typically Reska or your Chain Guardian for a bunch of healing. Got really good cards in here like the Primus, just an amazing Titan. Pretty solid deck, pretty easy to play, and not a lot is rotating on this thing either. Neither of them, like I think what, Astalor, Finley, and not a heck of a lot else. I guess Vizier I think is rotating, but this deck is going to stick around for the most part. Mining Rogue. Rogue is like the other deck that's just all over the ladder, especially high legend, really popular. There's a ton of Rogue decks that are competitive. Mech Rogue, if you still have that, that's competitive as well. But I will share Mining Rogue because it's got Hearthstone Brew in it, and I just gotta recommend one deck with Hearthstone Brew. It's probably not optimal, but come on, it's Hearthstone Brew. But yeah, built around your Excavates, Drilly the Kid. You have Scourge Illusionist, which is like literally every Rogue deck right now is just abusing this card, whether it's with Thunderbringer, whether it's with Drilly. The mech decks run it too, right? Because it's just a busted card, and it will be rotating. Like almost every one of these Rogue decks are going to look way different after rotation. So again, I wouldn't recommend crafting much of anything right now that's rotating, right? Like Scourge Illusionist is rotating, Krakatoa, Neptulon, pretty expensive deck for that part. Same with Queen Najara. Only play this if you got the cards, but it could do some pretty good scams and is a very effective and pretty consistent deck, especially when you draw Scourge consistently. You also don't have like multiple misses, right? You have Drilly you can hit the Thunderbringer, so you're less likely to whiff on that card. And Secret Rogue really has been popping up more on the lower curve of things, but has the secret package, which again, rotating, that will be happening. But Private Eye, a card that's rotating, blah blah blah. Scourge Illusion is there, but only has Drilly to hit in this deck. But you can see pretty similar in its execution, just relies more a bit on like the 2 drops, the early game. The secret package can be really good, and of course perjury into objection, or what is it, the 2-drop? I don't even know, are they running the 2-drop in this list? I don't even see it. But yeah, hitting objections can be pretty gross, and again, pretty effective deck. Aggro Paladin, still solid. Nothing really new to it. Didn't get nerfed, didn't get buffed. Got the Excavate package in there. I mean, it's been nerfed pretty recently. Boogie Down used to be 3. It's 4 now, but you get an extra 1-drop. Keeper Strength was nerfed. Garden's Grace was nerfed. But still, you can buff something up, give it Wind Fury, get that lethal damage in. Pretty effective aggro deck if you're in for that more streamlined gameplay experience. Next, we have the Warrior decks of the world. The most popular Warrior, I think, is just the straight-up Odyn Warrior that tries to rip through its deck. Basically, the synergies you have with Aftershocks and Acolyte of Pain just allow you to draw a lot of cards. Needle Rock Totem, Stone Skin Armor. Doesn't even look like people are bothering with the gift, where you can get like shield block off of that. Same with the XL Odyn Warrior we're looking at. I don't know if I agree with that. By the way, I'm going to be streaming some ladder later today. I have been doing a lot of arena lately. Haven't played much ladder. I'll probably try some of these decks out. If you have questions you want to ask, twitch.tv/Zeddy. But yeah, bunch of deck, like you just want to basically get to your Odyn, then gain 1,000,000 armor with like Razorfin Rockstar, Burst Rift. It stacks like so ridiculously high. And yes, you draw through your deck so much that you do play Reno. And you'll note, I'm not recommending a single straight Reno deck because they're not good enough. But Reno does pop up in duplicate decks, and I don't really like that either. But yes, this is probably the most popular Odyn Warrior. My favorite deck of the meta right now, XL Odyn Warrior. If you want to spice it up, you could throw a Hearthstone brew in there. I'm going to try the gifts again today. I think I'm going to try them instead of, not Bellowing Flames, but Heavy Plate. That's where that flex spot probably comes in, is instead of Heavy Plate, you can play the gift to get Shield Block or a Brawl. But yeah, this deck has been doing very well for quite some time. I think I've had videos on it, recommended this list multiple times. Nothing has changed with it, other than if you want to run the gifts and Hearthstone Brew. But yeah, Odyn is there, helps you win, but it's more about just outvaluing your opponent with your Excavates, your Ignises of the world. Pretty solid deck. I like playing it for that more traditional control style. I don't like how people call this Odyn Warrior control. It just feels like a combo deck to me. Next, we have Dragon Druid. Again, pretty unchanged, but really effective deck. Get your dragons out, ramp up, buff up your dragon golem, get a huge board wide of dragons, right? And then murder your opponent. You got some card drawn here with like Malagos, Summer's Flower Child to like 2 to your stuff, and Fi is just such a beautiful signature. I can't wait to see what the signatures will look like for the next set. We haven't seen any yet. Maybe they'll show us some of them off a bit early. Wink, wink. They're probably going to show them a bit early. That's a hint. Next, we have two of the decks I saw that got buffed that seemed kind of like they have positive win rates with a low sample size at higher ranks versus XL Romath Mage. Got a big boost with the buff to Energy Shaper, where you just scam out some spells, get some cool stuff, right? Vast Wisdom can give you 2 spells that you can Energy Shaper and get more stuff. I saw some lists running like giant 10 drops and trying to high roll like all the 6 mana spells and get like from the other side for 9 mana now and front lines. I tried it. It seemed absolutely terrible. Unless you high roll, it just wasn't enough. But this is more of like, okay, I got my XL strategy of just a bunch of value Excavates. I got Sif OTK in here. I got Romath for a giant board. It's just got a bunch going on. This is one of the decks I want to try on stream too. I want to play Warrior, play Mage. So I'll probably try those out later today if you want to check it out. And again, I wouldn't go on my way of crafting it. I don't even know if it's that super good a deck, but it is one of the buff decks that is showing some promise, as is Spell Demon Hunter. Spell Demon Hunter got buffed pretty heavily. Mark of Scorn dealing 4 for 2 is just kind of nuts. Honestly, like I don't know why they buffed that card. It's like already good. And also the card that does make sense they buffed is Deal with the Devil, where you could get a 5 mana 12/12 with lifesteal. Like that's a lot of stats, right? And your 3 minions in this, because you're running Soul Reaper Scythe, is Jotun. I believe we have Ignis, and then of course Silver Moon Arcanist, because the interaction with Unleash Fel still broken, absolutely broken, but not enough to carry these decks. Again, I don't know if this is like top tier or anything, but it is something you can try if you have the cards. Do not go out of your way to craft this stuff, especially when so much is rotating. And a lot of people have been playing Thief Priest. I didn't find a single list that had a above 50% at like any decent rank, so I'm not going to recommend it. But Thief Priest is probably the other archetype that has been seeing a lot of play. I just don't think it's that good. I don't think it's that worth recommending. Plus it's Priest. Why would I want to recommend that, right? And then lastly, we have the Wild decks. Wild, pretty unchanged. I have one new deck to add from our last recommendations. Even Shaman stays the exact same as before. It's Even Shaman. It's a very good deck. Shadow Priest again, or sorry, Mine Rogue. This needs to get changed in my opinion. I hope that eventually they pay attention to Wild and do something about it. The whole Mine interaction with Skulker and Necreum Blade is just broken. And the objection, like you can consistently OTK in turns 5 and 6. So I'm hoping after rotation, maybe they took a look at Wild if this is still problematic, because yeah, it is really, really busted. If you're trying to kill them really fast before they can do that, Shadow Priest is a really good way to go. Just, you know, play Void Touch Tenant on 1, do a bunch of damage, basically win the game, right? You're trying to win really fast. You literally, all your minions are 2 or less, unless you can cheat them out for 0 or 0, right? And you're running Benedictus for your hero power. Like, that's how aggro this deck is. It is so low cost. Quest Mage, another deck I wish they would take a look at. It's Reno Quest Mage. I like playing this deck. It's really fun. It's really toxic, but yeah, replaying the quest over and over. You got Reno in there. You have control elements, so you don't have to just, you know, do the infinite turn thing. But yeah, Open the Waygate with Romath is pretty darn gross. And the new deck I'm recommending that does seem legitimately really, really good, and it runs a new card. It has the Anduin's Gift. It's Inner Fire Priest, right? Because Radiant Elemental gets just another Inner Fire, right? Or sorry, Powered Shield just gets another one for 0 mana. So you just draw through your deck really quickly, whether it's Radiant, your Handmaiden, you could cheat out, you know, your big Grave Horrors for like 0 mana. You could get a bunch of them too. You can get more of them, whether it's Creation Protocol, Powered Synchronize, and then you just scam ridiculous stats really early, and then you can buff the crap out of one of them to find Spear, Inner Fire, kill your opponent. So this deck is trending really well. I've saw multiple people hit Legend with it. So if you're looking for something new in Wild, Inner Fire Priest might just be for you. So those are probably our last deck recommendations until Whizbang comes out, because we're not expecting another balance patch. There shouldn't be anything new until the reverts will go live. That happens typically like a week before the expansion comes out. I'm gonna have a rotation guide tomorrow, everything to get ready. But yeah, shouldn't have any more deck recommendations until then. So use this video as your guide to climb the ranks until Whizbangs go live. I guess what, March 19th? It's next month, sometime in mid-March. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.